Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, November 7th, and we're wishing you a happy Tuesday, a happy new week. Seems like the beginning of winter to me all of a sudden. I meant to pull up Jingle Bells sounds on my sound machine, but I forgot to do that today. Um, anyway, yeah, it's I don't know, it's good vibes. Christmas music on the radio. I like that. Gets me excited. Even well before Thanksgiving, and I don't know, somehow just very welcome this year, that kind of vibe. So I'm excited about that. Um, Definitely got cold recently. Anyway, I'm gonna add Doug in here. There's Doug. I know he's been dealing with the cold himself. Doug,
Different kind of cold. Good,
right?
good morning, Matt. How's it going?
Going pretty well. How about you?
It's going all right. Yeah, I've been sick the last couple days. Same with Eliza. So that's never fun.
Did she got it? Brought it home to you?
That's what I'm assuming. That tends to be how things work.
But what about the order of events?
Did she was sick. She was sick first. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So that's been kind of knocked us out since Saturday.
Okay. Did it cause you to miss any important training runs?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I went out. I tried to run. I was starting to feel under the weather Saturday, but did okay. And then so I was like, went out for a run on Sunday, and it was just awful. I mean, it was so bad. So I cut it short and came home, and that's when I was really feeling terrible the rest of the day, Sunday and yesterday. But seemed to be feeling a little bit better today, so that's good.
Good.
But
all right.
But the countdown. I mean, I'm 10 days away, man.
Wow, that close already? God, I thought it was still like 3 weeks away. Okay. Wow, that's really soon. Well, hopefully you get better and it will not affect you.
Because
you don't want to be sick. I don't think even 2 or 3 days before that thing. You want to be all better. Good. All right. Well, hopefully that all works out. A lot of people here today. A bunch on Instagram. If you're here on Instagram, go check out YouTube. It's youtube.com/no-meat-athlete. Link is I think probably in the chat here. I'm going to pin it real quick. It's just better there, more chatting and things. But people on YouTube, hello to Jeff Hudnall, Carmen Petty, Britters, Mr. Jeffrey, Brandon Turner, Kelly K, Garuda Legends, Leslie Knight, who is on mile 11 of 17 right now. I'm glad I'm not running 17 miles today. Although I just did a workout, so I guess it's kind of good.
What is she training for? What are you training for, Leslie?
Yeah, let us know. Text that while you're running. Harold Dahl, Sarah Slemp, Kate Rivercat, Anne Marie, Phyllis Hauser. A lot of people. There's good crew today. Glad to see this. And they're all participating. So very good. Anyway, what's we got a good show today. It's lengthy weather report, but good fun items. And then some goofy little articles to talk about. My only real update relevant to the show is that I single-handedly ruined our kitchen stovetop because Aaron was gone for the weekend. So I decided I would clean it up. It was very messy. And I've been meaning to. She was going to figure it out. Do a nice cleanup job so when she comes home, it'll look nice. So I poured a lot of water all over this. It's a gas stovetop. I poured water all in the pan of the 5, burners that are sort of connected.
Okay.
And I sort of tried to be careful. There's like a lip around each burner, so I made sure the water level stayed below that lip. But it turned out the one in the middle, the lip is sort of illusory, and it looked like a lip, but it wasn't. So the water just went into the whole electrical system that has the spark and all that. So anyway, it just stopped. Only gas would pour into the house instead of things. So we had no cooking for a while. And so I was doing different things, buying different foods that could be cooked in the oven or just eaten as is. And first of all, I got Wicked Kitchen pizzas, which is I haven't heard of that before. I've heard of Wicked Kitchen a lot. They're involved in a lot of different vegan brands and things. And they were pretty good plant-based pizzas, much better than those Dia pizzas or really any pizzas that I've gotten that have vegan cheese on them. So that was good. Frozen, just decent pizza.
Okay.
But when I was at Whole Foods looking for something to eat right in that moment, because I wanted to just buy food for later, but also eat something, I saw the vegan sushi. They had it, the plant-based sushi.
You did?
Yep, I had it. I've been waiting for it. I've checked it before. It's not there. And I saw it, and I just couldn't bring myself to buy and eat it. I just didn't want it.
I had why?
I don't know. I'm so
You've been talking about that sushi for months.
I know. It was like I wasn't anticipating the reaction that my body felt I already have like had a tough time with regular sushi back in the old days, just because the raw fish, obviously, the seaweed, like it was just sort of a stomach turning experience, and I kind of liked it. It was fun to do, but like I could only eat so much of it because it was just a lot of flavors that I'm not all that into.
Okay.
And somehow it was just like too close to that, or the fact that it was fake and would be close to that same, slimy feeling of raw fish or whatever that is.
Wow.
And I just couldn't do it. I just didn't want it in that moment at all. So I got some fried tofu from the hot bar instead. And
Wow.
and that was quite good. So I don't know. It was weird. I just wasn't expecting that. I wonder if other people, I mean, I would imagine other people have a similar reaction. Not all. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like if it was like a fried fish tender thing that basically is like a vegan, chicken tender, that's no problem for me at all. That seems great. But like when it's just the fish right there, I don't know. It was just too weird. Couldn't do it.
I'm disappointed, Matt. I'm
I
disappointed.
know. I was too. I don't know why. I'm usually, fairly adventurous and trying things. I just didn't want it.
Well, okay. I mean, good choice with the fried tofu. That the Whole Foods fried tofu, whatever it is the peanut butter stuff. I mean, it's
This wasn't that peanut butter stuff. This was something different, but that is good. I know. What you
okay.
mean. Yep.
So yeah. Well, that's
anyway.
too bad. I had my first kind of seasonal treat of the year, I guess you could say. I my favorite local ice cream shop, the Hop, which has always has at least 6, probably 10 different vegan flavors most of the time, along with non-vegan flavors.
There's a Black Mountain Hop.
There's Black Mountain Hop. Yep.
Okay.
And they had pumpkin ice cream, which took me back. It's been there was a place in Harrisonburg. I think it was called Clyde's or something like that. The ice cream place downtown. I'm sure
Sounds
you went
familiar.
to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
That every Thanksgiving and it's like twice a year, Thanksgiving and Christmas maybe, they had pumpkin ice cream, and it was like people would wait for hours to get it. Like it was a huge deal.
Wow.
And it took me right back to that, and it was so delicious and so good, and it really put me in the fall spirit. Like that was the highlight of my weekend for sure. Everything went downhill as we got sick from there, but man, it made me. It really kind of put me in the mood for Thanksgiving. Okay. Not Christmas. I don't know. I can't believe you're already listening to Christmas tunes, but
yeah, I've just fully skipped the Thanksgiving spirit. I can't believe Thanksgiving is only. 10 days away or something?
Away.
No, more than 10 days.
Like
is it 2 weeks plus 2 days? I think it's 16 days away. Mm-hmm. Amazingly close somehow. Just feels right after Halloween this year. I don't think I've ever had pumpkin ice cream. Certainly didn't have it at Clyde's. But people will line up for anything seasonal, even when it's not very good. I've realized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just tell themselves some story about it being good, like the Cold Mountain Brew,
like the beer,
from Asheville that people just go crazy for, and it's just a regular spiced beer that's okay. But I don't know. Well, I'm glad yours was worth it, and yours wasn't an hour-long wait.
Well, I didn't have to wait at all. I was the only person in there. My family was.
Good. Anne Marie said she went to the Hop twice when we were there. That was so good. Yeah, we like the Hop. They've always made vegan cakes, even when they were like last minute or whatever. They've come through for us. So good,
vegan
good place.
Cakes, very
good people.
Yep.
Nice family too, who runs it. All right, Leslie Knight says she's running Rocky Raccoon 100 in February.
Oh, right
with
on.
some training races along the way. 50K next weekend. Is Rocky Raccoon in Pennsylvania or Texas?
Texas.
Okay. There's another one that I was confused with it in Pennsylvania. That's cool. Okay.
I think it's like maybe a couple loops. I think it's a loop course.
I don't know if I knew Leslie Knight was a 100-mile runner. Maybe.
I don't think I knew that either.
One. Well, give us some details here or in the Discord, Leslie Knight. I'd love to know what your status is, because first 100-miler, if it is that's super exciting, scary, big adventure. But good for you.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah. All right. Harold Dole, there was more men's merchandise available in the No Meat Athlete merchandise store, which I haven't touched that website since 2016 probably.
Yeah, we haven't stocked it in a while. It has been touched since 2016, but we have quit stocking the No Meat Athlete store, at least. So I'm sorry. Yeah, Harold.
I would love to be able to recommit to all that content and brand and all that again. That'd be fun. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but yeah. For now, you have to just enjoy the shirts that I am wearing on right now. you can think that's where he got the idea. All right. So anything else, Doug, before we jump into our weather report? Full of action.
Garuda Legend says you need a conductive.
I saw
stove.
that. Those things are really cool. Where somehow they only get hot when there's a pan on there, and you immediately touch it right after, and it's cool. Or you put a paper towel like in between the pan and the thing, and there's no heat. I'm not gonna suggest people do those things because I don't remember exactly which one I did and which was safe. But I was amazed at how it wouldn't burn you in some setting, but would heat a hand up really nice. That's great.
And it heats up so fast. I was at a friend's house the other day who just got one, and it boiled water within like 30 seconds. I mean, absolutely wild, mind-boggling stuff.
Wow, that is amazing. But I'm definitely not going to replace my whole gas stovetop with the conductive stove. That's not the priority for me right now at all. In fact, it hurt me just to spend $95 for someone to come out and fix it right this morning. And guess what the fix was? Open the circuit breaker panel, move the knob thing, and then the whole thing is fixed. $95, Venmo'd it.
All you did is trip the. Oh man!
Well, here's the funny thing: we suspected that something like that was going on because the other outlets around it weren't working. So Aaron went out there today, flicked a bunch of things, turned off the different other kitchen lights, and then it just didn't fix it. And then this guy comes and does it, and it fixes it. So I don't understand.
Our dishwasher had a piece break off over the weekend, and it fell on the like heating thing that dries the drying thing that gets really hot, the ring, and so it like melted it because it's plastic. Because everything in a dishwasher is plastic now. And I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a huge fix. Did a little research, found the part on Amazon, got the part. It arrived like 12 hours later. I mean, it's so weird. Why is Amazon stocking something that's like such a little niche, little replacement part? It should have taken 3 weeks.
Long tail. That's the model. That's why it works.
It kind of made me feel a little dirty that I could get it so quickly.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I fixed it.
That's good. Nice fix for you. Good. Feels good to fix something. All right, 2 quick updates. One more on the stove topic. Stovetop topic. See what I did there, Doug? Stove topic. Garuda Legend says, I don't think I can sleep at night knowing a gas stove in my house. I have high paranoia. That actually was an issue for me. I was very concerned with no spark on there. All you had to do was bump one of the knobs, and suddenly the house would smell like gas, or the area would smell like natural gas.
Yeah, but don't you have a bunch of carbon monoxide detectors?
Maybe. We disabled them a little while ago because they were going off at night.
Because they're going off at night. Like, yeah. Oh man, Matt.
Well,
no, you gotta get that fixed.
I don't think is that the same as carbon monoxide. The stuff, the propane that comes out of there.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's what they're for.
Okay, I thought carbon monoxide was odorless. That's why it was so dangerous, and why you need detectors for it. Whereas stove propane.
Now they've added odor to the gas. So you smell it.
I'm not sure about this, Doug. If propane is the same as carbon monoxide, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Silence while we do that.
Yeah, absolutely silent.
When appliances and vehicles burn combustibles such as propane, wood, and fuel oil, carbon monoxide is released. So it is not the same at all. It's just a byproduct of combustion. Yep.
So there's nothing to detect to the gas stove? I don't think that's right.
Unrelated, except it's a byproduct. From quick Googling. Yeah, it's different. The carbon monoxide doesn't smell. Propane does, and the odor is definitely added so that you know it. Or at least that's the case with natural gas. Anyway, it was just scary. So I had to tell the kids, here's what it smells like. If you smell that, something's wrong. Turn off the stove. So anyway, it was scary. Update from Leslie says it's her first 100, and it's 5 20-mile loops in Texas. I remember that because at one point I looked at it, out of several times when I considered doing 100. And I remember it seeming like, that might be an okay one to do. I don't know. I think the loop idea, that definitely makes it much more approachable to me. That, especially for a distance that long, somehow it's just once you've done it once, then you can sort of manage it in your mind and you understand what's left. Yeah. That's very different from even mine. Like mine was not a hard 100, but the last like 20 miles of it was just like, I was just so angry every time it didn't get back onto roads and just stayed on trails because I thought there was going to be a road soon and then roads would be near the end. So it was just like this other mental piece of not knowing what was ahead.
Matt, I just Googled it, and there are detectors for gas and propane too, so you could get an alarm similar to the.
Okay.
So I am wrong.
Alright.
But you could buy something.
That's
similar.
good. Good for you to admit your mistake, and good like Daya did when they emailed us about their pyramid scheme, and good to know that you could get that. That actually wouldn't be a bad thing to have. Little safeguard. Okay, that is enough of this small talk. Let's jump into the serious, hard hitting topics that the show is built on. So here we go. I'm gonna try to get the music queued up here. I think we're in for good music day. Should all be good. Here we go. First, kicking it off with bad news for the plant meat industry. News that I can't say is a surprise to me. I've been predicting the downfall of plant-based meat for the last, since it started collapsing. I jumped on and said, it's definitely collapsing. It will be no more after a while. Beyond Meat has said it plans to cut its global non-production workforce by 19% following weaker than expected third quarter sales. This is from Veg Economist. They said their revenues, they're expecting $75 million for the quarter, which is 8.5% lower than the same period last year, losing $7 to $8 million on the bottom line. And they're going to net revenue between 330 to 340 million, they think, for the year, which is off of whatever their previous prediction was. They're hoping to be break even when they had previously said they hope to be cash flow positive by the end of the year. So not good. Another 20% of people gone. I don't really know what the non-production workforce means as far as how much is that versus how much is in the production workforce. But I mean, I feel like 3 times during the course of the show, we've announced Beyond Meat layoffs of double-digit amount of people. So not very good. I don't know what.
No,
do you think?
But at least they're break even, right?
So they're predicting to be break even. They're not, and they just predicted before this quarter that it would be better than it was. So they're giving those positive forward-looking statements, but that's what companies do.
Man, it would be such a bummer if one of the giants fell, and I feel like that's
it would be. You thought that this shakeout that is certainly happening would affect all the small ones, and it would sort of be this consolidation. But I don't know. I don't know. Like I've always, as much as I've said, I think fake meat's gonna go by the wayside. I still assumed the big ones would be around for a long time, even if it's just not nearly at the sales people were ever expecting. I don't know. I really don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if there's room for 2 big competitors in this. Who knows? Speaking of the other one, Impossible, Ruby Tuesday unveiled their latest addition to their nationwide menu, which is Impossible's Indulgent Burger. Indulgent Burger, I think, is one of these products that isn't really a new product, but they're pretending that it is. It's their boldest plant-based burger yet. Beyond Meat's done the same move, putting out the whatever smash burger and something else. Anyway, so they're doing this. Shireen Jagla, the chief demand officer at Impossible Foods, said, "We're excited to bring this delicious plant-based option to burger enthusiasts across the country. You can get it for $6.99 for a limited time. That's pretty cheap for an Impossible burger.
That is cheap.
However, an amendment came out a couple days after this article was published on Veg Economist, when Impossible informed them that the burger is not suitable for vegans unless ordered without the bun. So Shireen Jagla, who said, "We're excited to bring this delicious plant-based option to burger enthusiasts across the country," either didn't know that their bun wasn't going to be vegan, which just seems like a pretty big decision, right? If you're going to do a partnership, you'd think you would be clear on whether or not
make a vegan burger,
or understand that it's not a vegan burger, and like that's part of the strategy. But it just seems weird if they did know that to refer to it as a plant-based option. I guess it shouldn't be weird. It's not really that surprising. People use that plant-based term in that way to appeal to people who have no interest in being vegan, but just want to have a plant-based meal, a mostly plant-based meal. So I don't know, odd language there, but I guess it's good. Impossible seems to have a lot more partnerships than Beyond.
Yeah, they do. They've gone harder on that. I don't know. I don't know if that's just a different strategy or they just gotten lucky, but
yeah,
it seems to work. I used to love going to Ruby Tuesday and getting a burger. I'm not gonna lie, that was my high school.
You like that memorabilia stuff all over the walls, old Americana?
Yeah, it was comforting. Yeah, it was, I'd go get some sort of giant iced tea that was some weird flavor and a burger that had
get raspberry
bacon dripping up
there. Yeah, I would get a raspberry iced tea and probably like the mushroom cheeseburger stuff.
Yeah,
You're right. I definitely
absolutely.
do that too at Ruby Tuesday. I don't understand what Ruby
So
Tuesday is. What is their niche? It's just like American food.
I mean, they're all the same. TGI Friday, Ruby Tuesday, Applebee's, aren't they all the same?
Yeah,
Or
I
Charlie's?
guess they are all the same. It's basically the same type of menu. But Ruby Tuesday has like that old stuff all over the place, right? Like on their walls.
Yeah, don't they all do that though? I mean,
I
like,
don't know. I mean, it's not like real stuff. It's not like Hard Rock Cafe where it's actual stuff, but
right,
it's just like
right.
items that are around, and I guess they symbolize American things. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Ruby Tuesday is still going strong. I just feel like that when being so undefinable what their niche is, I'm just surprised that has stayed. But anyway, whatever. I don't care. As long as they have an Impossible Burger, I like that. If you were there, Doug, would you order a bunless Impossible Burger, or would you just get like fries and a salad or something?
Good question. Well, Harold Dole says that the salad bar is really good. So maybe I'd just go for a big salad bar.
You could buy the Impossible Patty and put that on top of your salad, or make a little mix something up. Harold also says,
yeah, I don't know. What about you? What
many
would you
restaurants a couple years ago. I think it just depends on the situation. If I was starving and there had nothing else, I'd probably get the burger with no bun. I would not really enjoy eating that though. It just doesn't seem very good.
No, burger, no bun, not appealing. No. Maybe they can wrap it in a tortilla.
Right, you might be able to figure something out, but then you're gonna look like an idiot at the table with everyone else, and you're doing this weird thing.
Excuse me, can I get the vegan version of the indulgent burger, please?
Yeah. All right, Doug. You know I'm into gaming recently, and
this is my favorite. This is my favorite thing we've talked about in a long time.
And you know that also I've been into the Doritos sweet chili, I think sweet spicy chili or something like that. The accidentally vegan flavor, the purple bag. Well, who knew? I guess I kind of knew that gaming and Doritos went together so well. I always imagine, just out of shape, never see the sunlight, people just gaming, crunching Doritos without a care in the world, all snack, just eat as much as you want all the time. So I guess I sort of knew that was happening, but they estimated that 85% of US gamers have consumed Doritos in the past 3 months. And a third of these gamers reported other people's crunching distracts them from playing well and impacts their performance.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised it's not higher.
First of all, I don't do any gaming that involves me listening to a bunch of teenagers or whatever talking or chewing Doritos in the microphone. I'm not playing any games with any other person's audio happening at all. And that would ruin it for me. So this wouldn't apply to me. But here's what they did. They jumped into the tech world, using AI, made a new, I guess it's kind of an app, software. It's called Doritos Silent. This is not a joke. Gamers download the Doritos Crunch cancellation software. And when the technology is turned on, the software detects the crunching sounds and silences it while keeping the gamer's voice intact. So you can keep talking. I guess you could even talk with a mouth full while you're crunching, and it will just sort out.
Fast behind the barrier.
It only took 6 months to develop this. They used 5,000 crunch sounds to analyze it, machine learning, and this is what they made. So it's out there. I don't know if it's out there, but it's.
I love this for so many reasons. One is like thinking about the gamer, with like Dorito dust on the controller, on his pants, all over his mouth. The microphone just has like crumbs that he's been like yelling into while he has Doritos in his mouth. And then the fact that hats off to PepsiCo for leaning into that and spending the effort to develop this thing. I mean, I'm sure it was easy for them to do, but I think it's hilarious. I think it's a great publicity play, and I just love it. I think it's so
probably is. I mean, I didn't think about this, but it probably is more a publicity thing. If it was a cheap thing to develop, because I think it's noise cancellation, probably not that hard to train a thing to do something. Now, to train to do it well, maybe is a lot harder. But if you just make an adequate, or maybe not even adequate version, and then you get all this publicity, maybe that's the main reason to do this.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, right. And then also like maybe to make some of the gamers like feel an affinity, even if they don't use it to.
Right.
They're thinking about us, kind of thing. I don't know. I think this is so funny. I had a college roommate who played Counter-Strike, which is a video game.
FPS.
You're on teams.
First-person shooter.
first-person shooter.
Okay.
Yep. That you're on teams with a bunch of people, so you're talking to them all the time. And I would wake up. I mean, I cannot tell you how many 2 a.m. wake ups I heard. I was woken up to. Go, 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 go! Shoot, man! Overhead, overhead! I like pop up in bed, like what the? What's going on?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was like forever has scarred me against first-person shooter games and in that type of gaming. I mean, I just
Yeah.
no appeal after
Holden
that.
plays this game with his friends, his soccer friends from his team. They all get on. They put their phones on. So they don't use the game microphone. They just put their phones on and FaceTime each other, and then they play on all on one team where everyone's only one guy on the FIFA team, and you play around. And then they just talk and do all that stuff. So I've heard that stuff. I haven't seen him do it with any kind of FPS, and I'm not looking forward to that.
I mean, I think a lot of people, like, if you're really into it, then you have a real social connection to people you're playing
I'm
with.
sure. And I guess you do it time, and it's not always just randoms. I'm sure there's ways to get the.
No, like this guy was on a competitive league. Like he would play with the same 8 people all the time.
Wow. Yeah.
Or
right.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
they're
how many
basically
people
friends.
was, but same 5 people.
All right. Well, let's see. Kate says the controllers get greasy. That definitely is a problem for me. If I've eaten anytime near when I'm playing, you get grease on the controllers. And Garuda Legend says I got Dorito dust on my pants and my keyboard. I need to make it to the next level. Could we do a segment on another show about vegan superheroes? I don't know what that means, Garuda Legend. He says, since we're on the topic, could we do a segment on another show about vegan superheroes? Clarify what you mean, and maybe we can make that happen. I'm not sure what it is. Kate says people get really close to their World of Warcraft guilds. So I guess Kate might be a gamer. It sounds like. All right. So enough of that gaming piece. A long time ago, Pepsi, because Pepsi Co. owns Doritos, and they made Pepsi and Doritos that would match. The Pepsi was specifically made to put out the fire from Doritos, whatever. And I thought that was a crazy, funny thing. This is another level. The noise canceling of the Dorito Crunch.
Yeah.
All right. Tyson Foods. This isn't really going to matter to anyone here unless your family buys actual real chicken. But they are voluntarily recalling 30,000 pounds of their dino-shaped chicken nuggets after some consumers have reported finding small metal pieces in the patties. So that isn't good at all. There has been one minor oral injury associated with this. I'm surprised the swallowing of the metal wouldn't be the worst thing, but definitely biting down on it wouldn't be good. So that just, I don't know, just good chance to pile on chicken nuggets industry. All right. In the Netherlands, we talked last year a lot. We even had Steven on as a special guest to tell us about his town of Haarlem that was banning meat ads. 2 other towns have now jumped on board with that. I don't know if that Haarlem ban was indefinite or if it just was for a little while. I feel like it was a short time, but maybe it was for good. Anyway, 2 others have done it. Bloemendaal and Utrecht. Those 2. And that's the 4th largest municipality in the country. They voted to ban meat and dairy product advertising in public spaces. So that's an interesting move. I guess it just starts to speak to kind of the greater good. Right, you can't do smoking. You can't put alcohol ads in certain places. And I guess they're saying it's not so much the health that's the problem with the meat, I think, that is behind this, but the environmental damage caused by its production that would get these sort of countries to do that. So interesting that is happening. Alcoholic beverages and gambling advertisements will also be banned in Utrecht. There's a new book. If you're looking for a Christmas gift idea for the fan of this show, Cultivated Meat to Secure Our Future. Hope for Animals, Food Security, and the Environment. This is not the textbook thing that was out a couple weeks ago that we talked about. This is an actual book, I think, meant to be for regular, popular readers, for lay people. Co-edited by animal activists and, big wigs in this world. I don't really know. It has a bunch of tips, things about how to avoid the industry shakeout like we're seeing in the plant-based meat world, and the other achievements of the section. I mean, I don't know who's going to read this book, honestly. I'm certainly not. But good to see that it's happening. It means there's interest. So we will stay tuned to the cultivated meat world.
It's coming. It's a coming.
It is coming.
Speaking of things that are coming,
Do we think? Do we want to revise? I think my prediction that we would be getting the cultivated meat in grocery stores in 2024. You never really were on board with that.
That's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I mean, I think most guesses are that we're probably 5 years away from that, maybe even 7 years away from that. But I had this idea that at the beginning, I just thought a lot of momentum might get there sooner, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm still saying it will. I'm still saying somehow end of next year, we're getting cultivated meat at home if we want. All right.
Would you get it? Would you get it?
Would I get it?
If there was a mail order D2C cultivated meat,
yeah, I
for a reasonable price,
I'm sure I would. I wouldn't keep getting it because I'm afraid of the health ramifications just with something so new and something so high tech. But I'd like to try it. And the vegan issue that would not prevent me from trying it. Like if the fact that you could argue it's not a vegan food because it comes eventually or at some from the earliest time from animal stem cells, even if no animals are really harmed. And that's me. As long as they're not suffering, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't think I'd keep doing it. But out of curiosity, for sure. What about you? You would, right?
Yeah.
Even order it. I mean, that's kind of going to some length to order meat to arrive at your house. I guess.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't super expensive, right?
Yeah, right. It couldn't be super expensive.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $50 for a burger.
No. And I wouldn't just get like the chicken breast or whatever they have and just like throw it on the grill and like say, hey, I got to have grilled chicken today, finally, after all these years. It would be more like I would buy it and make something really special out of it. Yeah. Something that I've wanted to try forever, and that the vegan substitutes just don't quite, don't live up to what it should be.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the future, let's jump into our articles. We've actually got 2 today. I don't know if we'll get to both or not, but this one is from dailymail.co.uk. It's kind of silly. AI predicts majority of the world will be vegan, in all caps, by 2075, thanks to Gen Z and millennials. So here's the deal here. There's been some survey work done by the NPD group, a data research group. They studied Gen Z and millennials, and apparently they will spark the movement that could lead to a vegan world. This is not the AI talking. This is just the survey people. And so they asked them about all their preferences and their concerns about sustainability and animal welfare, all this stuff. And then Daily Mail went and plugged that information into ChatGPT and asked it to sort of generate a timeline about what's going to happen. And so it did that, and it put out a timeline very pro-vegan, really. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that it says. It's not that exciting. Between 2024 and 2030, for example, plant-based food becomes more widely available and affordable due to increased demand and investment in alternative protein technologies. I mean, sure, you can imagine that. Countries and regions introduce policies and incentives to promote plant-based diets, and that's kind of already happening. Then lab-grown meat comes on the scene in 2030 to 2040, so not next year, like I had said. AI thinks it's an additional decade beyond that. Some regions begin to see a decline in traditional animal farming, etc. It goes on and on. By 2055 to 2075, there's all kinds of traditional animal farming becomes a niche industry. Plant-based diets become the norm for the majority of the global population, with vegan and vegetarian diets widely accepted, etc. And so, sounds good. Oh, in 2068, McDonald's introduces the McVegan, now leading into a rapid finally. So for 30 more years,
I mean, no vegan burger.
35 more years, they don't succeed in getting that vegan burger launched, and finally they do. Once the world's basically already there, they finally can do it.
Matt, I have some breaking news.
Do we have that ChatGPT is wrong sometimes? Yeah. Let me pull the sound machine up real quick before you do it. Actually, no, just go ahead and do it. I'll bring that up if I can. I already closed it.
I used the same exact prompt that Daily Mail did because they shared that. The same exact prompt into ChatGPT for the new version, and guess what? The timeline has moved up 20 years. The world's going vegan by 2050.
What do you mean for the new version? What it's just you just updated it?
No, there's the 3.5 and then there's the 4, which is the like.
Oh, they use 3.5 and you use
Well, I
4?
don't know if they use 3.5 or not, but you have to change. The default is 3.5.
Yeah.
I changed it to 4 and asked it, and the timelines moved up. Very similar. Everything is just more condensed, but but similar. Basically the next couple of years are just little like conversation gets rolling, and then by 2030 governments begin to implement policies to reduce subsidies on animal agriculture, and then sure enough, by 2046 to 2050, the world witnesses a decline in prevalence in diet-related health issues such as heart disease and obesity because veganism becomes the dominant dietary choice worldwide. So there you go.
Wow. Good. Well, that's great news if it's true. So where's the prompt that they shared? Like, didn't they have to put in all the survey data?
It says, it's like this third paragraph. Consumption after being asked, ChatGPT after being asked, provide a timeline of the world going vegan starting in 2024 when Gen Z and millennials raise awareness on animal agriculture.
Ah, I see it. Right. Okay. So you just told it that, and you didn't use the survey data. I wonder how that's getting plugged in.
I don't know either. All I used was that prompt, and I got basically the exact same output. I mean, very similar, like a couple.
Yeah.
The way that it's structured and everything.
Right. So maybe Daily Mail just made it up.
Well,
the connection to the.
I mean, that's the thing is like, this is so dumb that it's an article. It's right. I mean,
it's completely dumb.
AI did not predict this. Just ChatGPT randomly did. But if you ask ChatGPT the exact same thing multiple times, it'll always give you a different answer.
Right.
So
that's what I was thinking. I mean, have we seen any evidence that ChatGPT has any ability to predict an incredibly complex system 50 years down the road? Like, no. I mean, no, it can't do like basic. I mean, it can do amazing things, but it can fail badly on far simpler tasks than that. And I don't think anyone's yet, predicted stock market and, risen to wealth and taken over the world or anything yet by their. So if it can't do that, I mean, it's not going to. I just don't believe this. Not possible that it's going to know all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. I asked it. So I'm working on a piece about like examples on how to get 100 grams of protein in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked it to give me some meal plans, and their protein prediction or like estimates per food, like 1 cup of rolled oats or whatever, were just so different than everything else I would find online if you looked at the same exact ingredients. And I mean, just like if it can't do that, like what I don't know. I was very very frustrated with it last night when I was trying to use it to cut some corners, and it wasn't working for me. So when you read that in the mailbox, in your email box in a couple of days, know that I went and did the legwork. I did the actual research. I didn't use ChatGPT.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm not convinced this AI is going to be this revolution everyone thinks it is. I know it's going to replace a lot of I don't know what to call them, less skilled jobs, data entry, that basic stuff. Of course, it's going to replace that. But I just wonder if there's a limit that of what processing capability can happen. And we're going to, I don't know. Back in my day, Doug, I did some machine learning in my, during my graduate work, and I ended up not pursuing the PhD, but I was going to do it in neural networks. And I spent a year or two researching that. And there's major problems. This cursive dimensionality, when the number of inputs increases, you get this exponential increase of this solution space. And then you just can't, no amount of power can search it. It's just too large. And I just wonder, once these systems get complex like this, there might be some limit where there's just no ability to process beyond a certain point. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm very, very wrong about that. But I think we're already seeing that.
I think that there are millions of gamers who will be thinking AI here pretty soon when they don't have to listen to Dorito crunches. So
yeah, right. True. I mean, it can do some things like that. And that is 10, 20 years ago, that would have been an incredibly complex task. So I could be very wrong. We'll see. All right, let's see. Should we get to the next one? You want to talk about trends? Oh, I thought it was really funny, by the way, in that article. that there were a few more specifics that they predicted, and I'm trying to pull it up here. It didn't really want to update like the fact that the celebrities are going to change, those people who are significant, because the first climate action and veganism day will be celebrated in 2048, endorsed by celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and Natalie Portman, who at that point, I mean, they're going to be 80 years old. And then later, 12 years later, the chat I believes athletes like Serena Williams, who's not going to be an athlete anymore at that point, and Lewis Hamilton, who also will not be an athlete at that point, will push to normalize the diet in 2059. I don't know if they'll be pushing anything. They'll be pushing daisies at that point, I think, not pushing to normalize the diet. So, I mean, how far away is 2059? That's 36 years from now. And what are they? They'll be 80 also, probably.
That's pretty funny.
So it's just goofy, silly thing. All right, on to the next thing real quick. Let's talk about the trends.
Okay,
just fast. I mean, I found this at the last minute. We've talked about Whole Foods trends. We talked about that other food something association trend, specialty foods thing. These are not plant-based or vegan at all. I guess neither were those. Didn't have to be. They just happened to have a few. This is the top 8 food and beverage trends according to dietitians. It's from the Food and Nutrition Conference and Expo in Denver that just happened, where the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack, delivered a message from the White House on progressive nutrition. Anyway, they talked about the big takeaways. We'll just go through them fast. On-the-go protein, fish in pouches, which is pretty crazy to me. It just seems like the same reason I was unappetized by the vegan sushi. I just can't imagine snacking on fish. I mean, even if I was a fish eater, it just doesn't seem like you want a fish in a pouch. I'd want it to be like refrigerated and cold. So I don't understand that at all. But that's one of the things coming out. Would you eat vegan fish in pouch, Doug?
I am really here for the vegan seafood, even though I haven't had very much of it. I'm excited.
Haven't you been getting the canned vegan seafood, like the tuna cans or something?
But it was in a pouch. I did that in a pouch.
It wasn't a pouch. Okay. And it wasn't weird to eat it out of a pouch?
It wasn't what?
It wasn't strange to eat that out of a pouch?
No, man. I would take that on like a little picnic, get a little cracker. Be delicious.
Yeah. Okay. Next, simplifying the benefits of fruit. This one I don't really get at all. The motivator is that most Americans fall woefully short of eating the recommended daily servings of fruit, much less vegetables. And so brands are making it easier and simpler for you to eat fruit, which fruit is like already the simplest thing you can eat. You don't need to do any preparation. You just eat it. In some cases, you need to peel it, but like there's nothing to do. But PepsiCo has made a Quaker Oats Fruit Fusion instant oatmeal, which features real fruit pieces in it.
Which has to be like an eighth of your serving of fruit.
Oh yeah, I mean right.
If this is silly.
And Wyman's is doing similar with its just fruit cups of frozen fruit and small bites of Greek yogurt, banana, and or coconut that customers would shake before eating. I don't really get that. Drawing on the nostalgia of the 90s, as companies like Dippin' Dots did in the past. I thought Dippin' Dots was the 90s. Maybe not. Maybe it was a little later. Anyway, yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know. Going big with gut health, prebiotics, probiotics. I thought that had kind of already come and gone, but I guess not. Ancient grains. Also, I thought that had sort of had its day already, but I guess it's coming back. I don't mind that. I'm glad. I think it'd be good to have things that aren't all wheat, although a lot of these ancient grains are forms of wheat, like spelt. But whatever, good. The more grains we can get, more different grains we can get, I think the better. Making eggs easier and egg accessible for all. Just talking about putting eggs in all over the place. But I also have heard that, of course, they're talking about regular old conventional animal eggs. But I've seen some things suggesting that the plant-based eggs is like the seafood has the potential to be the major winner of the plant-based products. Plant milks and that are right now is, I would say, the winner. But I don't know. People think long-term plant-based eggs might be really popular.
I like it.
Yeah, I know you like the eggs. Fuel for the brain. Just different foods that can be good for the brain. They mentioned California walnuts, wild blueberries, and Pompeian olive oil, which all kind of would do different things for you. Well, I guess the walnuts and the olive oil both give you fats, omega-3s. Yeah, so I don't know, but just brain health in general, I think people like that. Increased hydration and reduced recovery. Definitely have seen the hydration trend happening with the
Mhm.
Prime and then Liquid IV. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Do you do that with your running ever?
I have a secret stash of hydrate that I have stocked up on, so I'm still working my way through
Right.
that.
Okay. Yeah, a friend of mine brought Liquid IV on our golf trip, and people treated it like it's like some special thing, like literally like it's an IV that you're just getting hooked up to. So you have some drinks or whatever, or you don't sleep well, and you just have it, or you're out hot day, and it just, I think it's literally the same as water with a little salt in it or something. Like it's just marketing. Liquid IV, crazy. So I don't know, but I think people will go crazy for that. So
Mhm.
I'm not surprised, but it's a little weird.
I don't know that I fully agree with that, but
No,
no.
that's fine. But I mean, it was, I don't know. I think it has some sugar in there. I mean, I don't doubt that it's a good thing. I just think the name Liquid IV is why
Yeah.
people like it.
You
But what do you think?
ever been to one of those IV things?
No, no, I don't think I've even seen them. I've heard about them
Uh-huh.
existing.
There were some in
Where do you
DC.
go? Like in the mall? Like
Uh,
those oxygen places?
and there were some in DC. They're just like storefronts. I think there's one, at least one in Nashville. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, night out.
I think it's a big placebo effect.
You don't think
I've heard.
you don't think it rehydrates you in a different way? Or-
I'm not sure. I know when people get their placebo medication delivered via IV versus
Uh-huh.
pill, the placebo effect's much stronger
Oh.
when it is something that is a known placebo, where it's not doing anything for you.
Mhm.
Much stronger effect when it's in your intravenous, because people think it's like a real medicine.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe after my race it'd be fun to get an
Yeah,
IV.
it might. You should do it.
Mhm.
Tell us about it. But you have to have a needle, right? A needle has to go into you.
Oh
Still,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's no getting around
It's
that.
a real IV. Yeah.
That would prevent me from doing it. Unless I was extremely hungover and someone said, just have a needle right now and this will fix it. Then I might do it. All right. Finally, fighting food waste. No surprise there. A lot of people are into fighting food waste. Yeah. It's not just it's not talking about plastics and things like that. It's talking about the food itself,
Mhm.
upcycling and all that. That's definitely happening. So not surprising. Good to hear it like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're all fine. I mean, a couple of them seem strange, but I could see those being trends. So
Yep.
I'm here for it, as Doug says. All right. Well, anything else? I guess that's it. We're 5 minutes overtime. We got another call starting in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Brandon Turner says, "Are we bringing Hydrate back?" Doug,
No, we sunset hydrate.
no.
Unfortunately, had some issues with it.
Popular demand though can do anything.
That's true. We could figure it
There was
out.
enough.
It,
We need to
it,
call
it
it
is.
Hydrate IV.
I loved hydrate. I still love it
Yeah?
because I stocked up on it.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's good. It was a good product.
Mm-hmm. Too bad. So probably not coming back, Brandon Turner. Sorry, but appreciate your interest.
Yeah.
And I think Brandon Turner is one of the new attendees of the live show. So thank you
Mhm.
for that as well. Okay, good. That's it. Yeah, not too much happening between now and tomorrow. So we will return tomorrow, do this again, see what kind of news there is in the next 23 hours, and cover all that like we always do.
All right. Can't wait.
Okay.
Thanks everybody
Thanks
for
for
coming.
attending, everyone.
Yep.
Thanks for participating. All that stuff. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.